Today we're going to be covering how to create recipes in MarginEdge. So the first thing we're going to start with is this recipe tab. You are going to see three things at the very top underneath this tab. The first thing you're going to see are menu items. These are the finalized dish that your guests can order off the menu, generally pertaining to food. You're also going to see bar items. Those are the finalized cocktail that your guests can order off your menu. And then you're going to see prepared items. Prepared items are anything that you make in-house. So those could be your rubs, your dressing, your sauces, your batched cocktails, your simple syrups. So when creating your recipes, the first thing you need to start with are your prepared items. So let's stick with the example of saying you have a chicken sandwich on your menu, and on that chicken sandwich is a ranch dressing that you make in-house. Well, the first step is going to be to create the recipe for the ranch dressing. So let's go ahead and start with that. So we're going to click on the tab Prepared Items, and we're going to click this button, Add Prepared Item. At the very top, you're going to type the name of the recipe. Down below, you'll go ahead and choose the recipe type that it best pertains to. So in this case, we could say cold prep sauces. The next thing you're going to do is fill in the yield. The yield is how much this batch produces once all your ingredients are together. You have a bunch of different options to choose from here. You can say 20 fluid ounces, 10 gallons, 3 quarts, 1 bottle, whatever it may be. In this instance, maybe we'll just say that there's 5 fluid ounces in this batch recipe. If you have multiple restaurants in MarginEdge, you're able to restrict recipes to those specific restaurants by clicking on this box and then choosing the restaurant that it belongs to. You also have the ability to inventory these recipes. So if in your end of month inventory or end of period inventory, you want to count everything that's on your shelf, all your prepped recipes, again, batch cocktails, anything like that, you can add that recipe to an inventory and then choose the count sheet you want to add it to. To the right, you're going to see that you have the ability to upload pictures or recordings to these recipes. Something to keep in mind, there is a 500 megabyte limit, and often with mobile recordings, it is recorded in high definition, so the video recordings cannot exceed that size limit. It will need to be compressed before they can be submitted. With attaching pictures or recordings to these recipes, you are able to view these recipes through the app. You can also use something that we have called a shared device mode. So you can use a tablet or a phone, and you can connect it to MarginEdge, and the person viewing the recipes will only be able to see the recipes. Other things that they can do on the device are enter an inventory, log waste, or upload pictures for invoices. It basically becomes a digital up-to-date recipe book. The other thing you're able to do here with the recipes is add in a shelf life. You can add in specialized equipment, and you can get very specific with the methods and the steps. So in the case of ranch, maybe we need to bring our ranch to room temperature. So one step could be take out ranch, bring to room temperature. If you would like to maybe add some fresh vegetables to that ranch dressing, like cucumbers, you can say cut cucumbers into 1/4 inch slices. Again, just to be consistent with product and then eliminating waste. Down below, you're going to have the ability to begin adding in your ingredients to the recipes. So you're going to see two things here. You're going to see an AI import, and you're going to see an enter manually. So if you have recipes written down somewhere, you can copy them and paste them into this box. So an example, 2 cups of sour cream, 1 tablespoon of salt. You go ahead and paste that in here. AI will build that out. Otherwise, you can manually enter in each ingredient. So if we go ahead and search for sour cream, what we're going to see when we type in sour is a bunch of different options of products that have sour in the name. So we're going to go ahead and choose sour cream. And then we're going to put the quantity, whether it's 1 cup, 0.5 of a tablespoon. And then under the unit, you're going to see a couple things. You're going to see existing units, and you will see conversions needed. This recipe called for 1 cup of sour cream. What you would do is just go ahead and select cup, and then we're going to tell you according to the most recent purchase price, a cup of sour cream costs you $2. However, if this recipe maybe called for 1 ounce of sour cream, you're going to see that that falls under that conversion needed. When you click on ounce, this box is going to pop up, and here you would have to give it a conversion. So the best way to do this is to Google it, or you can always use ChatGPT, and here you would maybe say, for example, there are 2 milliliters and 1 ounce of sour cream. The other thing you're able to do is change the yield. So for produce, fish, or meat, if you want to account for waste on those products, you can always change the yield and say, I really only get, a 90% yield out of that, and then it's going to adjust the cost accordingly. So once you add in all your ingredients for this recipe, you're going to get your ingredient total down here. So let's go ahead and save this as an example. Now, when you're ready to create your menu items, you're going to go to menu items, and you're going to add a menu item. So let's go back to the example of chicken sandwich. So what you're going to do is go ahead and type in the name of the menu item at the top. Again, go ahead and select the recipe type that it belongs to. Now, the difference with menu items is this yield here. Instead of saying it gives you like 20 gallons or 15 quarts, whatever it may be, generally you're going to say that this produces 1 serving. And this pertains to both menu items and bar items. And the reason for that is because this is the serving size that the guest is going to receive. Everything else is the same underneath. You can upload pictures or recordings. You can restrict the recipes. You can inventory the recipes. Most clients do not inventory menu items or bar items because those are prepared on site, but you do have that ability. You have the shelf life, the equipment, the methods, and again, all the different ingredients that go into this recipe. Again, you could do the AI import or the manual entry. So let's go ahead and search for that ranch dressing. So you can see here that I created the prepared item for ranch dressing, so that falls under ranch dressing, or under prepared items and ranch dressing. And now we're going to say how much of this goes on that chicken sandwich. So we'll say 2 fluid ounces of ranch dressing go on that chicken sandwich. You would have to obviously add your bread, your lettuce, tomato, and all that as well. But again, we're going to get you that cost according to the most recent purchase price. Now what you're going to do is go ahead and put what you sell this for. So if you sell this sandwich for $2.99, we're going to tell you that your plate cost on this particular menu item is 26.8%. Now, this is a global price. So if you have multiple locations in MarginEdge and you share that recipe, but each location charges a different amount, you can click this box and set it to a location-specific price. And you'll see that here. So you would have to go into each location and do that. You are also able to put in a plate cost, and we're going to tell you what you should sell that for. So for example, if you're looking to raise prices on your menu, or you have a new item and you don't know what to charge, you can say my targeted food cost is 30%. You put in that 30%, and we're going to tell you that you need to charge $2.67 according to the most recent purchase price on all those ingredients, in order to achieve a plate cost of 30%. That is how you would create recipes in MarginEdge.